welcome to round 8 here in Las Vegas. The driver is still that's round 7, but nothing changed from then. We are here in Las Vegas for a interesting race to come, and tonight is all to be played for the championship here. We have Jambo and HB Cook still going on strong at the top, with Raceable still leading off in the championship. So let's have a look following the driver standings after Saudi Arabia with an incredible race last week round. It is HB Cook leading off the championship with 90 points ahead of his teammate Jamboy in the Racing Bull as well. So both Racing Bulls dominating in the 1-2 spots. Leo in the Red Bull is following close with 32 points. We could see Leo do a final push to maybe gain to the both of them. Last season round champion, of course, Leo showed dominance. This time it's a bit tougher to see if he can maybe put himself back up on the top. Liam in the Aston Martin is not far away at all to Leo's third place spot, 12 points behind there, and then it's Joker in the Red Bull with 10 points. El Falcone Mercedes following very closely with 3 points, and then it's Ben in the Kickstar with 2 points, and Hyper following very close with 4 points, and Harvey being on the same points with 31, right then P8 as well. Then it's Seth in the McLaren following with 6 points, and then the next 3 drivers all same amount of points, with Shamrock joining one race and having won that was in Abu Dhabi in the mid-season part, and then Shafton and Will Smooth following right there and there as well. Following closer, it's Joe 7, Jake as well, Alpine P14, and close by after that as well. And in the driver standings, in the team standings, we have Racing Bull dominating with 111 points, of course, with both drivers being 1-2 in the standings. Pardon me about the sound there. The practice session has started as well. Something we're gonna see soon as well. McLaren following with 111 points to the Racing Bulls, and then it's Red Bull close with 2 points. Leo and his teammate Joker could maybe have a look to beat the McLarens for that P2 spot. The Racing Bull is untouchable until the end of the season. Williams with 50 points behind could maybe have a look to the end of the season. Of course, 3 rounds left with this one. We could have a look to maybe one final push to see the final standings changing. Mercedes 5 points behind, and it's Aston Martin right behind as well. 5 points and 9 points each, and Ferrari being on the same points with Aston Martin. Then Kicksauber 11, Haas with 9 points behind the Kicksauber with 26, and then Alpine 3 points behind with 23. That was standings entering tonight's race. And now it's on to see who can go further. I'm your commentator, Captain Foxy, and the practice has started 3 minutes ago. It says 57 minutes at the top left. We end at 45 minutes. This is just for all the drivers to join in time, so they can have one the final join they can before the qualifying session starts. It's a wet practice session here in Las Vegas, so it's going to be a difficult one for the drivers to get used to the track and car. We're currently looking at De Tourneur in the Ferrari. One strong driver showing great potential, but sadly missing out more on the halfway part of the race. Let's see how tonight in Las Vegas they do. All the drivers have decided to go out early to get used to these wet conditions. I believe it won't be wet for the actual race. That is to be seen. The conditions are not revealed until we get there. The important part is we need to also think park firmly is the rule that absolutely can make it or break for drivers. Once practice comes to an end, you need to decide on the setup, which you will then put on for qualifying, which then will also go to the race. So if it now rains, the drivers may put a wet setup, go for good laps now in the wet session, but with the qualifying and the race session will be dry. You cannot change your setup to be accommodating to the dry conditions. It is the Kicksauber of Thumbs first across the line. There's a Mercedes as well behind. That is either Pertz or El Falcone. Pertz behind. Oh dear, the Kicksauber having lost the rear end out of the left-hander there. An incredible track new to Formula 1, but has shown great racing. Last season round we had a lot of action as well. So let's have a look how tonight's session will go. Before we go, let's quick slight break there. We have to see as well. Pardon me of those noises. The track, of course, very important very important to get correct. With it is basically a Monaco similar to Monaco based track, and with walls closing in every corner around. You see here around with basically every sector. You see here in the final sector of turns 14, 15, just when you make a mistake out there, you are basically greeted by a wall on the outside, and if you do hit that wall, there's a good chance you slide towards the inside. Well, it happened quite a few times last season round. I wouldn't take it out of consideration that it happens again. But talking about the track, first Grand Prix held in 2023 with a circuit length of 6.201 kilometers, and the fastest lap being held by Lando Norris last year in 2024 with a 1:34.876. Now, as I say, every round that fastest lap time is from the race, but I am definitely sure that we might see that lap record being smashed tonight, as in the game the car, you have way less to consider, and the cars are just slightly bit faster than they are in real life. And of course in real life you also have the consideration you are inside the car, you can't push as much as you can. There's no consequences in the game if you do make a mistake. In real life, we have all sorts of penalties, monetary-wise and time-wise, that you don't want to risk. But in the game, those such penalties do not exist, as you don't have to pay for the car once you do damage the car. Anyway, back to practice. We have Leo already up on the top spot with a 1:45.6 in a wet. Fellow Cat winner last time on in Saudi Arabia were 1:46.157, very close. Pardon me, Fellow Cat didn't know when he got the pole time in Saudi Arabia last time round, and was McLaren who has won, not today, not here. We have a few reserve drivers as well. Reina in the Ferrari, Astro in the Aston Martin, Juan in the Alpine, sometimes joining in. Something to look as well. We have also names that we do remember. Jamboy was championship leader until 2 rounds ago, until Cook took it away with his clean driving, and of course he has taken it. Cook's driving absolutely goes to his own style, and it does help out. Cook absolutely does not push anywhere close. He takes his own time and comes then back to his strength. Of course, it doesn't have to always go for every opportunity. Cook's style is more watching everything unfold in front of him and then taking every advantage he can without having to risk his own race, often getting the cleanest driver of the race award just the way he drives. And it shows then that in the league it could also make it or break it, of course, being leader of the championship. And the way we see the car sliding around now through the long turn 13, turn 10. This is a corner where you see the car basically going sideways through here. Turn 11 as well. Now through the harsh chicane of turn 12. Of course, it's a chicane, but only one corner number. And now back onto the long straight, the back stretch to turn 13. This will be the second DS zone here. Of course, in the wet, we won't have any of that so far. And then comes the harsh braking point of turn 14. Again, a chicane with 15 and 16, and the wall in 15 comes in so close that you really need to watch out. But with your track limits, now here turn 16 onto the famous drag strip of Las Vegas, the left-hander here. So, a very famous stretch of track that mostly was the reason why F1 came to this track, to the city here, and so has a lot of history to its name as well. But we see Leo slightly improving again, 145.0. Of course, behind MPA Free Gamer has broken a 145 barrier as well. So has Juan and Feathercat. Before, only 4 drivers currently in the 145s. The rest are 146 and higher. Pardon me. So we're gonna see, once in 5 minutes of practice session comes to an end, we will see all the drivers pushing for their qualifying session. So we will see these times absolutely, if it will be in the red, we will also see the times drop massively, but I'm not certain it will be wet here in Las Vegas for the qualifying or race session. In the back we see drivers, basically all the drivers taking their chances, going along with all the tires. 3 laps currently on these, and more. In the front we haven't seen the car stop yet. We see the Mercedes here of Perth sliding all over the place ahead of the P4 kicks out of MPA Free Gamers. And it just shows how treacherous these conditions are. If we do have them in the race, they will have to push absolutely and stay on edge every corner. Need to watch out. Let's see here into the chicane of 14, 15 and 16. Let's also have the minimap on. Seeing where the, so let's see through here. These are treacherous conditions. It's the steering absolutely kept to a minimum. Let the car slide through everywhere. Now through the drag strip, slight lift through the left-hander and still undersits off nearly into the wall. Through turn 1, will we see counter saying there's a drift right there already. Let's see how Cook drives in these conditions. Traction control for some of the drivers, of course. Controller players are allowed. Everyone is allowed to have to assist, and control players do really need it. It's difficult to have the control of the accelerator and brake pedal in these conditions. Of course, many of these drivers do not drive with ABS, so that is, you will see a lot of locking in conditions like these. And so our championship leader takes these corners, spit sideways through there. That's already showing that the rear just wants to kick out and just go in front, but that is a driver, of course, taking control of the car and keeping it in one piece. Let's see here through turn 5 on the exit, bit sideways, but got the conditions there. We see also a few drivers going with intermediate, so you see drivers also go with wet compound. We don't know in conditions like this which tire is the better. Lap time wise, they do look the same. 145.0 Leo on the wets, 145.1. Oh there, Kirk on the inters. That's a wall hit there by the Racing Bull. That was dangerous, of course. Not much damage on the front wing. It does look intact. We have a bit of a train going in sector 3 with the Kick Sauber, that they're going into the pit lane. Difficult to get it right. Careful to not go too fast. You'll go right into the barrier there. Let's see also a few other drivers out on track, how they handle these conditions. We see the drivers in the back having more difficulties getting the car right. We see an Alpine off there into turn 3. I believe that was well to let the cars by. We see Ferrari as well going slow on the right hand side. Careful, of course, if they do speed up, that we don't see any collisions after, once the ghosting ends. I believe we're getting close to the 45-minute mark. Cook goes top of the leaderboard with 144.2, and Dead to New as well goes into the 144.9. Practice will come to an end in a minute or more, around a minute, so we will see soon what conditions will meet us in the race. But currently it does, even in this practice session, it does look like it's drying up a little bit. More drivers are going for the intermediate tires. Leo as well, switching for one final lap onto those intermediate tires. Let's have a look at that. Also will end up we might have to, I believe I done a mistake at the beginning of the stream as well. The music was playing way too loud. That was my mistake. I'll fix that for the aftermath, for the afterwards, and for the next race. I believe my apologies there. Of forgot to turn down the music. But back to practice session. A mistake can always happen, and it is Ollie Cook deciding to it's their practice session, their Tanui as well, deciding it's over now. Alpha Corner goes with the fastest lap as well, but with a 1:43.791. Interesting there on the final time. The intermediates did go faster on these wet conditions. We have Leo, a driver that will probably want to look how their session here now will go. Of course, with the final minute now, many drivers will retire, so a lot of clean air. And there's only one Mercedes in front who could maybe become a little bit of a block, but of course every driver is allowed to use all of the track. There is no blocking in practice if both of the drivers are on a fast lap. Something I like about the Las Vegas track are the billboards on the buildings. I think I just saw Fernando in the back there. Very happy myself. Jamboy retires as well, ending their session. Love Magnet 2. Joker has improved that lap, going with 1:44.006. So still time to get improved in. Every second you are on track is very important to get used to the car. But yeah, it's Leo's tactics of warming the tires there. Sliding side to side to get temperatures into those intermediate tires. That is one thing with the difference between intermediates and wets. Intermediates are slightly bit harder than wets. You need to work harder to get temperatures in. But let's see what Leo does in the Red Bull through turn 1. Any sliding? Let's have an onboard look. Basically drifting through turn 2. And now through turn 3. It's nearly under, staying off into the barrier, but keeping it just tidy. And now towards turn 5. It's going to be hard on the brake. Longer braking zone in the wet. Mounting out of the curb. Bit of a safe through turn 5, now through turn 6, and then 7. Now through turn 8. A bit too much of a curb taken there. Oh, losing the rear end. This might not be a good lap, but let's have a look if they can complete it here. Turn 9. Now through turn 10. Now we go. We will have to look at outside cameras how sideways the Red Bull gets. Just a little bit. Now through turn 11. Just a little bit more. But now through turn 12. Hard on the brakes. If they go off a little bit. Hits the barrier as well. This lap might not be good for Leo. I believe after this as well, every driver who's currently out on track does have to retire. So we can go to the qualifying session. Onto the back straight we go. Leo, I believe, is not improving. There were a few mistakes this lap already, but let's see at the end if maybe in sector 3 improvements can come. So onto the curb there, taking all of the track that is available, and now out of turn 16. I said it's turn 12, I meant turn 14, and now through turn 16. Now on the final corner, turn 17, the strip, and towards the line. Just improves a little bit by position, but it's personal. The Mercedes has gone P4. Now we got two last drivers out on track. The Red Bull, pardon me, the McLaren and the Ferrari, who are doing their final laps. Of course, not much time left. They do have to retire soon. I believe the Ferrari now retiring, and now it's the McLaren left. About to do their final lap. Purple sector 2. So Harvey could seeing a bit of improvement in the wets here. Of course, our only car now left on the track. Let's see how they complete their lap towards turn 14. The chicane, very difficult. If you do go deep, there is a runoff, but you can't rejoin as easy as the wall does meet you there. 15 and 16. Let's see what McLaren's time. And I believe that will be it for the practice session here in Las Vegas. Crossing the line. Improves by 3 seconds and goes second fastest. Incredible. And that is the final. That is just what they like to see at the final end. Just showing a full potential. And goes second fastest in the practice session. And that was the practice session here in Las Vegas. Let's see how one final time the top 10 here in practice. Alpha Corner Mercedes takes it at the top with a 143.791. Harvey and McLaren, we just saw 143.982 with one and nearly 2 times slower. Joker, third place in the Red Bull in the practice, 144.0. There's MPA free game in the kicks over 144.083. It's Perth 144.1. Cook in 144.24. Leo 144.431. There to New York 144.9. I believe I couldn't say the last two, but that is that is nice to see how the switch in the standings goes. We have new drivers taking the top spot, but it is a dry session now tonight here in Las Vegas, so everything you learned in the wet, you can't really translate over. It's basically a new learning experience here in the qualifying session. 18 minutes, and then we'll go on to the race distance of 25 laps. But first, of course, let's see the starting position and how they end up. A bit of time before all the drivers do go out on track. Of course, every driver does need to change the setups. So we'll see how that will go. Who will be the first driver out onto the track? That is a good question. I believe I see a Haas pit crew in the back there going out, and a Red Bull as well. So it's a Haas driver first to take the track. Who is that? And a Red Bull. There we go. And I believe that's a Ferrari coming out as well. So it's William in the Haas going out on the track first. So let's see how much grip their cars actually have around this magnificent track. Towards turn 5. Hard on the brakes and way better turning than we saw in qualifying. But now, whatever they've done to the setup, they cannot change anymore. Park firm it goes starting from qualifying. The only thing they can change, pardon me, the thing they can change is the front wing for the initial turn in, but much change. There's not much to be changed there. Ferrari as well has overtaken the Red Bull that came out first. So I believe it is that New York behind as well. So these are the two drivers who will, pardon me, I believe now the Red Bull is hiding behind the Haas. There we go. I was seeing the onboard. I didn't see the Red Bull, but these two will be the first drivers to cross the line and start their lap. I believe that's a Red Bull of Joker, if I'm not mistaken. It is on the main back straight. So let's see what time William can bring here in Las Vegas. See how competitive they can maybe be. So towards the strip now. Flat from here. Barry turn to 100 as well, and now we start the lap here. Let's get to the limit, to the date up as well. So through turn 1 and 2, careful through there. Now turn 3, try not to understeer. The Mario will meet you, but nice through there. Now DS open, the first DS zone off the track towards turn 5. Hard on the brakes for the right-hander, mounting the curb on the inside, hitting the barrier on the outside slightly. Wasn't very optimal, but they did get it through. So now through the S's we go. Turns 7, 8, and 9. Now through turn 9, exit off that tricky section. Then now it's flat again. Hard turning as well. This is a tire deck corner here. The degradation of the tires can very much get used through there. Now for the chicane of turn 12. Of course, purple sector 1 and 2, but it's the first driver to take those corners. The first driver to take those sectors as well. So now through the back straight, the second DS zone. Faster speed. The speed trap will be around here. Fastest zone of the track, and now for the chicane of turn 14, 15 and 16, and then it's a full-on push towards the line. Let's see where the Haas will arrive. Well, time they will make, what banker lap they will do. So it's a 132.182 for the Haas. Let's see the Red Bull behind. I saw some improvement there. 132.132. Very close together. It's a Mercedes next in line. Both Mercedes going towards the line. So it is Alfa Romeo taking the top spot with its Perts in 4th place. 131.593 for Alfa Romeo with provisional pole. That's a good banker lap set by the Mercedes there. And McLaren and the Alpine, Juan sets himself in 4th place, Harvey in 6th place, and we have the Williams, the Loft made it 7th, but beaten by the Ferraris, who puts himself in 6th place. Then the Aston Martin in the back, I believe that is the Aston Martin of Astro, followed by the Red Bull of Leo. So Astro got his lap time available, while Leo goes into provisional second place. MPA3 gamers cross the line to provisional P3. The Ferrari has gone back to the pit lane in the back. It is another Williams next had to cross the line. It is Farrell Cad. 5th place grid penalty for... Pardon me there. Farrell Cad was the next Williams to cross the line, and it was with 131.3. That is my mistake. Pardon me with that. I wasn't fast enough. Nice time by the Williams, and so now the next car to cross the line will be a Red Bull, but they slow down and leave a Mercedes by. I believe they will also not do a lap, as of course they did already do their fast lap here. That was a huge jump on the curb. That's a McLaren though on a fast lap, but going also towards the pit lane. I believe they decided to as well go back in. So I believe there was no blocking there. The Mercedes was placed unfortunately there on the exit of turn 16, so had to bring it back. If the next car to act who will cross the line will be the Ferrari of Detunuyo. They will, but I also have a valid data, so I believe the next cars to actually set a lap will be the cars who just left the pit. So the cars who are on an out lap, Thumbs will be the first driver to set for them a banker lap, but already we're getting close to the second laps of qualifying. So let's see where the Kick Sauber will bring themselves up to. Through turns 4! Sliding! Losing the rear end. That was a massive loss of rear end, and that lap will definitely not get completed. That was a huge rear end loss. Having brought it back. Jamboy as well in the lap, but has them validated. Might see if they also bring. Let's have a look at the detail, what tire they're on. Jamboy could maybe do another lap if he doesn't decide to go back to the pit lane. So these are the tires. 1 lap to 2 lap old tires throughout the throughout the grid. We have 2 more cars going out. William and Juan. That was also Jambo going back to the pit lane. Special on the a driver who's supposed to be in the Ferrari has joined, but we have the reserve driver currently in the Ferrari, so that is interesting to see there. No, pardon me, Special was in the Mercedes. That was my mistake. But we also have both Mercedes spots taken. So let's see again who will be the next to cross the line. William has invalid their lap, but that it does not matter, of course. Coming out the pit lane, the lap would not count anyways. So going towards turn 14. We haven't seen many mistakes around here yet. Of course, touch wood, we don't want to see mistakes happen throughout the weekend. 9 minutes 30 seconds remaining to the race session. So it will be now William to start the lap. Let's see how the Haas will bring their car where they position themselves with the second lap they'll have enough time to do a few more laps afterwards, but of course you don't want to risk as many laps out as you can. Of course, the tires, you only have a set amount of tires per session. We don't want to see a few sets wasted for nothing. You see William take a good couple corners here through turn 5, 6 and 7. And now 8 and 9, all nice there. Getting very, very close to the wall, but not touching. That's exactly perfect how they wanted to see. Now through turn 10, basically flat round here in turn 11. But it will be a break so right at the end of the corner. Careful to not go wide. It was a huge curb mount there, but it's purple sector 2, so the Haas taking it perfectly throughout there. That was rarely any mistakes we saw in that sector. So let's go now onto the back straight. Yes, open. There's a Red Bull weaving, but of course, hopefully they will not impede the Haas to the corner. So they go out the way. Now the Haas goes to turn 14 and 15, and now flat through 16 to go to cross the final corner here on the strip. The left-hander going as far on the inside as they can onto the curb and then cross the line. It's 5th fastest overall. Couldn't improve in the final sector, or in the first sector, lost out a bit there. We have Alpha Corner as well on lap, but a few cars behind, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, Kick Sauber Thumbs is on a lap as well, but has invalidated, so we might not see an improvement there. And Alpine coming through the final section as well, but there is starting their lap. Let's have a look if we can get a look on the Alpine here. That's Juan, who has improved 3/10 on their lap. There's an Aston Martin as well crossing the line. No improvement for the Aston Martin. Now let's look at the Kick Sauber. I believe there is a the V-Cup of Cook. About to start their lap. Of course, cutting a few corners at the start, so to minimize as much time out as possible. So let's see the V-Cup start that lap. So we need to keep an eye on the Ferrari and the second V-Cup behind us. Also started that lap. There's a McLaren about to come cross the line. That is Harvey about to start that up as well, and a second McLaren. Astra retiring from the session. I believe that's either a mistake or they did crash hard into turn 5. And there's also a second McLaren in the back saying that lap, and I believe now comes a Ferrari. The second Ferrari about to start the lap, but that is a spin into the pit lane. And Joker goes fastest overall, 1:31.336. Incredible, incredible. There wasn't a loss of words for a second with the Ferrari spinning into the pit lane. The Williams in the back as well starting their lap, and it is the Haas going down for the Kick Sauber. I believe that is MPA3 Gamer. So let's see where they bring themselves up to 5th place, fastest 5th fastest overall with a 1:31.657. Now it's it's Cook next across the line through turn 14. Now 50 and 6 in the chicane. All right through there, getting the traction done, but last minute decision to go back to the pit lane with 5 minutes remaining. There's not much time left to do a lap. So Ferrari out as well on track. That is Detonuyu going through, but also deciding to abandon their lap. But I believe Jambo in the back. That is Jambo going through with his lap. 9th overall so far, but it's an invalidated lap. I believe starting his actual lap now, Jambo in 9th. That is a rare sight to see. A championship contender not being as far at the front as well. Cook never being in the top 3 as well is quite a surprise. The competition is getting tougher by the race, and it is noticeable. We have in 17th MB about to start their about to complete their lap as well. The first one to put on the board. It will be 15th, 1:33.153. I believe also going off the track. Interesting here if they're gonna retire. Joining back behind the Alpine. And let's have a look back onto Jamboy in the V-Cup. Fastest sector 2, so he is still showing great potential. Let's see where he'll bring this V-Cup onto the back straight. There's wide open towards the chicane of 40, 50 and 16. It's going to be a hard couple corners here to get right, riding the curbs on both. That was very close to track limits, but he kept it inside. Hard on the accelerator. It was a good couple corners, but decides to also go back to the pit lane. 3 minutes 40 seconds remaining. There is barely any time left for any driver who's in the pit lane. They need to decide fast if they want to go out for one final lap. The golden opportunity is falling away fast. So let's see. There will be the Alpha corner, the first driver to start his lap, his fast lap. MB of course is on a lap, it says, but just finished that lap, so I believe they're going back to the pit lane for an in lap. So let's keep an eye on the Mercedes here. I'll stay on with the Mercedes. We'll have the Alpine back as well, but slowing down just before this final straight. We have a bit of an issue with the timing board there, but it's back. So the Mercedes starts their lap now. So let's see where they manage to bring themselves up towards turn 1 and 2. And there's a bit of traffic up ahead. Turn 3 and 4. The Williams gone off to leave them by. There's a bit of a lag there. We saw Williams spawn back on the track for a split second. Therefore, turn 5, we see Alpha corner go through, hitting the barrier on the outside. I saw a bit of understeer through there. The Alpine in the back took it a little better, not taking a special track. But I believe with that wall tap, Alpha corner has abandoned his lap. So let's go on to the Alpine. That's Juan on in the Alpine. No, Ahaka, pardon me, in the Alpine. On their lap, let's see the improvement towards the turn 10. Careful with the Mercedes to not impede, but the Alpine has stopped behind the Mercedes. I believe the Mercedes does want to have the slipstream by the Mercedes ahead, but then goes past. Ooh, that could be maybe a look at with the stewards afterwards. Then it's a Williams on the lap, if I'm not mistaken. If not, there's Ferrocat starting, being on the out lap, about to start that, and a Kick Sauber going fast as well. That is both of them on the out lap. And I believe a Kick Sauber is in the barrier. There's a Kick Sauber of Thumbs going into the barrier at the back there. In the back there, pardon me. And a Ferrari, there to do, I believe, on a lap. So they have the McLaren in front, who's on a lap. That's special, and the McLaren joining in a different team for today. Let me have a look as well for the driver lineup. Was confused there. And the McLaren, it's not supposed to be special one, but I guess special appearance by the special one there. And there's a bit of a wall tap. I heard that by the McLaren in front. Let's see where the Ferrari of Detrue brings himself towards the final corner. And it's not an improvement. Stays on P8. There's a Kick Sauber in the back as well. Dear goodness. That is a huge one. A Red Bull about to cross the line. That is Leo. Fastest overall. 131. What? 318. Currently untouchable. William is very close, but couldn't beat that lap. Would have been a very incredible first pole position. I see an Alpine in the back about to cross the line. No improvement there. The second Alpine, the second Williams about to cross the line. That is Ferrocat going to cross the line now. Final corner. Will this be an improvement? Yes, it's a pole, provisional pole, 131.019. The second Red Bull about to cross the line. Joker goes second, fastest, beating his teammate. Then it's the second. Then it's the second Williams. Pardon me, the first Williams of Ferrocat crossing the line. It's the second Williams off the Loftblade crossing the line, improving by staying in P15. Then it's a Mercedes at the back. AFL corner putting himself up into provisional P2 and PA3 Gamers provisional pole position 113.921. Is that a time that can be beaten? No. Cook crosses the line, P7. Then it's a Kick Sauber, his teammate, down in P18, having a bad lap so far, but cross the line, 4 seconds up, crosses the line in P13. Then it's Jamboy about to cross the line. Where will Jamboy come? Find a corner, 7th over, beating a teammate. That is a Mercedes of its Perts. What? But it's a developed that time. It's a Ferrari. Find a car who can jump across the positions. Where will Reina get? P10. And that is the qualifying session over. MPA3 Gamers pole position here in Las Vegas. Incredible lap. 1:30.921. The only driver to go under the 1:31s. Incredible work done by MPA3 Gamer there. And with that, we come to the end of the session. Waiting for the game to switch over. There will be a slight break between the qualifying and the race, and then it will be 25 laps of pure chaos here in Las Vegas. MPA3 Gamers improving there as well, but I believe, not enough to be set on the board. That was 7/10 improvement at the end. But MPA3 Gamers, the kick Sauber, getting it onto pole position. Incredible done there by the Brit. Then it's Pharaoh Cat in the Williams behind with just less than a 10th behind, and Falcone starting in P3. Joker P4, Leo P5, and William in the house P6. Jamboy P7, Cook in the championship leader in P8. That is, it's very hard to see seeing a series in front as well. There to do in P9, and Reina the Portuguese in P10 in the Ferrari. It's also there to do having the 5 grid penalty, so it's Juan promoted to P10 and Trena to P9. Now will be a slight break from before the race, and I will be back very soon. We have the formation lap starting here. MPA3 Gamers leading off the grid. In the kick Sauber, a driver who showed great potential. Giving the game a bit of time. There we go. A driver who's shown great potential in the league, getting himself back onto the pole position. Very nice to see Pharaoh Cat last time around going pole, but didn't manage to get it to the win. So these two as well have some history in Saudi Arabia last time around as well. Falcone Mercedes will be a driver to maybe show some aggressiveness. Let's see what tires everyone's starting on. Mostly mediums, except for the Mercedes of its part in the Ferrari. Careful, there might be a collision there. Do not collide. If you do collide, you will be disqualified from the formation lap. And so also we'll start on ice cold tires. We already have a car disqualified. That's a love magnet on the grid. So let's see. This race out will be an important one. We have two drivers in the back. Hawker and Astro going slowly, doing everything to warm the tires as they can, getting as much of an advantage as well. And we have an AI driver driving in Astro's car. That is an AI currently in possession of the car. We have been disconnected from the newest patch. Crashes did happen quite a bit of time. We had Jamboy lose out, and Jamboy and Leo gone way too far from the grid box, getting disqualified. And see in the back as well. We have to something interesting. We have to McLaren with the chrome livery. I saw at the start the McLaren in the game has a special new livery. So let's see how the McLarens might bring it on here. So it is MPA3 Game about to going from the lead. Ferrocat, let's see what they can do towards turn 1 and AFL corner right behind. All drivers have lined up now, so the lights will turn on any second now. That's a long hold up before the lights turn on. Who are we waiting for? Holding on long. And I believe we have a game glitch here. Who are we waiting for? Every car's on the grid. So yeah, I believe what is currently happening is a game glitch, and I believe it could be the love magnets for not starting the lap, or maybe something that could also happen is just maybe the Aston Martin being an AI having messed the game a little bit. But this is not supposed to happen. This is not supposed to happen. So currently the talks are if we might have a restart, we'll have to So interesting here, we are slightly stuck on the grid. I believe the only fix is a restart. There's nothing much that can be done. So yeah, that is quite a sad thing to see, the game glitched, and yes, it will be a restart, so we will be right back. Enjoy the music while we say the music, we say session. This time I'm not gonna put the music down. It's just. as we're back from the break. Pardon us for that little mistake, that little issue we got. The game had a big problem, so we're back in the game now, back on the track, pardon me. So we have all the cars lined up as we saw in qualifying. I believe no formation lap this time, as of course it was voted with all the issues that arise with now today's basically being a breaking point. So we'll be back in the racing, so 5 flights and then we'll be away we go. All the drivers setting their car up now. Of course no park firme, but here we go, 3, 4, 5 flights and it's ready to roll here in Las Vegas. It's go, 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 and the kick Sauber is ahead of Ferrocats Williams. Let's see towards turn 1. If Ferrocats has it already down the inside, they're close together, they make contact. And it's first place for Ferrocat going down the inside. That's incredible. He's pushed his luck and managed to get it there. There's a Haas going wide out of turn 4 as well. And now through turn 5. Can the kick Sauber get it back? No, the Williams had a good run, but in the back we see the 2 Red Bulls being out in a fight. There's a Alpine down the inside, setting it to Cook, but they're side by side now towards turn 5, turn 6 and 7. Side by side together, close there, but no contact. I see it on the camera, so it's all nice and tidy for now. El Falcone is right there on the kick sub of MP3 Gamers. He's slightly dropping down after that start. Was a bit pushed with the Williams pushing his luck, but it did work. But now towards turn 13 and 14, pardon me, turn 14 there is contact in the back. I saw debris flying up. Who was involved? There was a kick Sauber involved there. Is there any damage on the car? Not visible. But we have in front the Ferrari trying his luck on the Mercedes of its Perth. Already in the slipstream. Might we see an overtake opportunity to turn 14? Down the inside. Yes, we see the Ferrari has sent it there. The Mercedes had nothing to respond and he's gone through. But what's happening in the front? El Falcone is losing time to the 2 leaders. And now Leo is right on the end. Leo goes for the outside. The Mercedes defends the inside, but it's going to work for the Red Bull. Might we see a switchback? Yes, we are. That could work, but now it's the outside for the Red Bull. Keeping that nose on the outside there, but backing out of that one now. Yes, available for every car who's within 1 second of the car in front. So towards turn 5. In the back we have overtake special one, overtake Perth. In the Mercedes, but here the Red Bull couldn't have a chance. And the Chrome McLaren had looked for a chance there, but couldn't make it. So it's Perth is past, and now we look for the 2 Ferraris up in front. Gotta say, I do like the new look of the Chrome McLaren. Hopefully that stays for a little bit. But now onto the turn 10 complex of turn 10 and 11. All in the tidy line now, so the battles have calmed down a little bit. Here we see for P4, Leo has slightly overcooked the corner a little bit. The bollard in the back has fallen over, but can Leo maybe have a look in front? El Falcone is outside of the DS detection zone, so the Red Bull will have a whole straight with the DS advantage. Where is it going to go? For the inside. Is he going to be passed before the corner even starts? I believe he does. And there's also the race recap of Jambo gonna go down the inside, breaking the bollard, nearly going into the barrier, but he's kept it together just slightly, but gave Joker an advantage to maybe have a look now. But now it's El Falcone who rolls reverse, going to look. There's a yellow flag in sector 3, that's the Haas, and a Ferrari involved. There's a Ferrari there going in of Rena. 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Didn't slow down fast enough, but that's damage on the front wing. There we see. Getting it replaced with a new wing. Nicely done, but that will lose them quite a bit of time with the 10-second penalty as well. So that is a huge loss. But for P4, we still have to battle here. About to unbrew for P4 as well. Therefore, cool is still in the S detection zone off the Red Bull of Leo. A bit of a slide there by the Red Bull on turn 8. Now for turn 9 we go, and it's all in a line. Very close there with the second Red Bull. Joker was just a smidge before the wall. Nicely kept through there. So let's see if Jambo could have a look. Goes for the more inside line, cutting more, driving less off the track, but we'll have a less of a jump into the corner. But now on the exit towards the main straight. This will be a freeway battle here. Leo is a sitting duck now. No DRS for the Red Bull, but I believe there's no battery for the Mercedes as well. It ran out faster than the Red Bull and the V-Cup. So the V-Cup of Jambo looks for the inside. They nearly made contact there, wheel to wheel towards the chicane. And it is the V-Cup of Jambo going past the Mercedes, but the Mercedes spins into the barrier. The Mercedes is into the barrier and retires from the session. Do we have a virtual safety or a safety? Not quite. Jambo fast up of the race towards turn 1 now. Right on the rear end of the Red Bull here. Red Bull goes a bit wide towards turn 3 now. On the exit of turn 4 as well. Let's see how this will end up. The V-Cup has the S towards turn 5. Where will he see the overtake opportunity? So now through turn 5, bit of a lockup there by the V-Cup. So now towards turn 6 and 7. Will we see an opportunity on the next straight towards turn 10? There's a big lockup by the Red Bull there in front. And now a bit of a slide as well. But keeping it nice and tidy. But there's a barrier hit by the Red Bull. Was too aggressive on the exit. We feel Leo is under pressure from the car behind. Will we see an overtake opportunity now? That is very close. The V-Cup is basically on the rear diffuser of the car. Up in front, Ferrocat could also have a look with the DS. He is quite close to maybe have a look. You see the AR of Alpha Corner still slightly on the track, slowing down. But here we go. The V-Cup basically has it in the back now with the DS as well. So on the outside he goes. He goes, takes all the battery and DS advantage. But that is the Red Bull not giving out easy towards the chicane of turn 14. And it is the Jambo V-Cup of Jambo passed. Nice and tidy there. No defense needed by the Red Bull. But let's have a look in front. This getting feisty up in front here as well. The Feral Cat getting feisty to the MPA3 Gamers. Kick Sauber. And the next year zone coming after turn 4 here. After the long right-hander. Could we have a look? What will the Williams do? Half a second distance is close enough to maybe have a look towards turn 5. It's just not close enough. He stays behind for now. MPA3 Gamers just ahead in the Kick Sauber. Stays for now ahead, but now comes the complex with corners. This will help the Kick Sauber here with the dirty air. The Williams will not be able to follow quite close. Still, understeer might hurt the Williams a little bit. We saw the big dome, the eye is getting bigger, but hey, it's just a battling here in front, getting quite feisty. So now the Williams has a chance towards now the chicane. The DS opportunity after the chicane here will be very much helpful for the Williams. Bit of a wall tap there. I saw the Williams jump a little bit. That's a Red Bull of Leo into the barrier. Into the wall goes Leo, loses a bit of the front wing, but now we're staying up here in front for the lead of the race. Yes, the Williams has it now down the inside with the DRS, and he's done it nicely towards the corner. Yes, there's a bit of a gap, and the Williams has passed. Leo, on the other hand, a bit of less luck. I saw debris flying and a bit of damage as well on the Red Bull, but visually, I don't see much. Might have been the second Red Bull maybe, but there also seems to be no damage. William there takes a chance on the Red Bull down the inside on the main straight, on the start-finish straight. But the Red Bull goes back for the outside there, side by side through turn 1 and 2. But William managed to get together in the Haas and gets past that in P7. Now he has a DS to get closer to the cars in front. Harvey, Leo and Cook, they're on a bit of a DS straight. But up in front, now the cards change. It's MPA3 Gamer in the DS detection zone. Half a second now. Of course, we saw this exact moment just complete opposite with the two cars. Ferrocat was ahead. But that was a bad corner by the Kick Sauber, having lost 3/10 on the exit. Incredibly there, but there's a yellow flag. Then sector 1, there is the Alpine of Ahaka in the barrier. He did say he's going to have a bit of issues playing on a keyboard tonight. Oh, that is very close to the wall, and yeah, the car is missing its front wing and cut to chicane. Gets a 10-second time penalty. The Alpine is having no luck in tonight's race with his keyboard. He did say, of course, with these corners, the keyboard is very much a disadvantage, but nothing. He can't really help it. So we see William taking his chance on the McLaren while that was happening. And Hawker gets another 3-second time penalty. I believe that it will be his race over at the end of this lap. But William, on the other hand, is on a strike here. He's going past every car he's seeing. He's hungry for positions in the back. Joker as well. Nearly had a look. Farms got a time penalty, 3 seconds. Joker goes down the end of the McLaren. The McLaren of Harvey is just dropping down position after position with these cars getting closer. But now we see, yeah, that's the Alpine of the barrier again. Did he retire now? This might cause a safety car, virtual safety car at the very least. Oh, there's a Ferrari round. The Ferrari of Rina is spun round. That was very close there. MPA3 Gamer is now closer than it was before on the exit of turn 9. That's where he lost 3/10 last time round. This time seems better. If the Ferrari of Rina as well can't get that Ferrari back up into contention and only bring it now back to the track. So now onto the straight we go. The longest straight here on off the track. Hawker retires, but the Ferrari keeps on going. Rina sees an opportunity. So we are now onto the S straight. The Williams is going a bit defensive on the inside there, but then goes back to the racing line. But Katie kicks out and maybe have a look. He makes himself visible in the mirrors, but then backs out of that one. Puts himself back in the slipstream. And now onto the start-finish straight. The Las Vegas strip. Long here, but no DS zone here, so of course it's all pure slipstream power. The Ferrari is back in the wall and the barrier, and Ahawk has retired. Let's see where the Ferrari will bring themselves out. Bringing it back to the track. I believe there is damage on the Ferrari there. Let's have a look on the front. Seems fine for now. Oh dear, spins again. I believe those tires are completely ruined. And this could cause a virtual safety car. We're joining back to the track. Now comes a huge train of the leading car. So where will the Ferrari come back to the track? Will this be a penalty? Slows down just enough, but has to wait till all the cars go by. Rejoins behind the McLaren of Special One, and I believe luckily no safety car. But back to the battle here in the front, we see Jambo slightly closing in as well. In P7 we also have to Rebel off. Joker getting closer to William after their little battle a few laps ago. It's gone back now again, so in the DS they will tuck themselves. Let's see if it's close enough to have an overtake opportunity. Will William have a chance to defend it? Because look how fast the Red Bull is approaching. But when is the corner going to come? Here it is now. The Red Bull stays behind for this chance here. But lots to come more on the next straight up here. There's a car peeling into the pit lane. That is Jambo peeling in for their first stop. This will be an undercut on the medium compound. They will go onto the hard tires. So let's see if this undercut will work for the Visa Cash App, the V-Carb coming out just in front. A few cars behind as well. Special One and Rina has gone for the stops as well. It's Rina for a different reason, I believe for the overheating tires. But up in front we have now the battle between Joker and William. William lost the position there. Joker has gone for the outside, but will William respond through the S's here? Bit difficult, but locks the tires, slides a little bit, but gets the car slowed down just enough to not cause a collision. Now through turn 9, this is the corner where the following car always has issues with the dirty air, but now towards turn 10, this is where the slipstream. But the Red Bull seems to have a lot more battery, and this is a huge Joker. Already nearly made a 7/10 gap there. Already looking to maybe fight the teammate into the DS straight. I saw some debris flying in the back, but that's a camera glitch there. So now on the Red Bull, will they have a look? They were in the detection zone just before, but not through the detection zone. The 1 second was over. So William will have the DS. The Red Bull, on the other hand, will not have a DS advantage. So the William is right back there, but goes deep into the chicane. And that is a huge time loss. How much will they lose? 1.5 seconds nearly down to the Red Bull now. So that's a huge loss after mistake. There's another car, Farrell, gone into the pit lane as well. So where will Farrell Cat come out after his stop? It's a good stop. Of course, a game doesn't have slow stops. There were a thing back in the older games, but they got rid of them in the newer game. So now we see William will come just ahead of Jamboy. That is a huge undercut by Jamboy. Jamboy was a few positions, was down 1.5 seconds. Now it's only half a second down. So this could be a three-way battle for the lead. If MPA3 Gamers pits now, will they use this advantage? We'll have a look in the battle for P2 and 3. Currently for Provisional P3, we have the two Red Bulls battling it down for that Provisional P3, but it is P5 here once the cars in front once they pit as well. So let's see who out of these two will come out in front. Joker has pushed a lot to catch back up to the teammate, but in the back we see the Ferrari as well fighting the McLaren. That's Nuya with the 5 grid penalty from qualifying. It brought themselves back up into P7, and with the DS advantage here, they might bring themselves easily up to P6. Nice overtake there, nice and easy, no issues. And now towards turn 14, there's a great overtake there, and nicely done. Oh, there's a penalty there. MPA3 Gamers in the pit lane. Where will they come out? Let's have our eyes on Feral Cat, where they will come out. Of course, Jambo got to overtake as well on the Feral Cat, so Jambo could be our leading car here. The Kick Sauber is just coming out, and Jambo is provisional lead of the race. MPA3 Gamer did not account for the undercut, and it worked great in favor of the V-Carb. So now onto the DS straight. We're nearly halfway through the race, and it is all incredibly interesting here. So towards now turn 7 and 8, Cook leading in the race. Of course, there's a strategy staying out of trouble, but this time, seeing as the undercut has such a great potential, this could be the first time where Cook's strategy might not have worked through. But we have a yellow flag. Rena's round and retires from the race. Will this cause a safety car? This is in the middle of the track. No virtual safety car or anything. But we're back onto Feral Cat and Jamboy's battle. This is easy for Feral Cat now. Basically stuck on that rear diffuser. DS open now. Jambo defends the inside, goes slightly back to the outside, but the Williams is already there, so who will be brave on the brakes? Both of them are very brave, but so Williams sliding their way back past on the outside. It was an incredible overtake. Incredibly done, and now MPA3 Gamer is now back on the rear end as well. There to the rear end, HB Cook, Joker and Cook pitted. Now that we see them peel into the pit box, and this three-way battle is for the lead. So let's see who will come out in front after this. There's no more stops left for these cars, so this will be a straight out battle till the end of the race. It will be basically switching positions with the DS advantage, but until a driver loses it, hopefully not, but the traction is a big play in tonight's race as well. If the following car does lose a lot of traction. We have a yellow flag in the final sector. That's a car retiring. That is El Falcone retiring. Interesting. El Falcone has retired from the race. So did its Perts. So both Mercedes are out of the race, and this gives a good chance for the Ferrari to catch in the championship. So towards turn 12 now. Oh, they're mounting the curb there. That can easily make the car lose the rear end. And there's a Mercedes, so the sector 1, the car who retired in the pit lane, coming to a stop in the middle of the straight. Hopefully soon, once a car comes there, the yellow flag will come. But there we go, Feral Cat goes down into Dare to Nuyu. The Dare to Nuyu hasn't pitted yet. So Feral Cat is now back in the lead of the race. Will Jamboy have a chance? The Ferrari in the middle is just a wild card. Of course, hasn't pitted yet, but they did start on the harder compound, so they can stay out longer. But that's a Kick Sauber, having done it round the outside. Incredibly done. Will Jamboy respond? This will be 3 wide. Oh, this is contact. The Kick Sauber has been sandwiched in the middle there. And it's again 3 wide. They've not stopped yet, but it's a Kick Sauber getting it. Oh, the Ferrari into the barrier there, into the runoff barrier. And it is the Kick Sauber getting ahead of the 2 there, but that was very much squeezing and elbows out to get past. Well, it's the Kick Sauber who got the upper hand, but they lost 1.5 seconds to Feral Cat, so they do need to push a lot to bring themselves back into the DS detection zone, which I would say is going to be more difficult now for the Kick Sauber and the Racing Boys. They're going to battle each other as well. Let's see how this will end up between the 2. We have Fums and MB battling for position as well, but Fums has that 3-second time penalty as well for a corner cut. So we will see if this will help them as well to get that position. I need to be careful, of course. The aim of the game is just to bring it back to home, bring it back to safety after the end of the race. You don't want to go too aggressive to retire midway through. But look at that, Feral Cat with the advantage of the wild card of the Ferrari in the middle, gained themselves enough time to have a bit of a cushion between them and the Kick Sauber behind. And we might have a battle brewing up for P7 here. Joker as well in the rear of Juan, the Alpine. Looking for the outside, the Red Bull, the Alpine defends the inside. Who will be brave on the brakes? Oh, there's collision contact between the 2. And the McLaren goes past the both of them. And that was a big collision. That was the Alpine not turning in soon enough, but also the Red Bull having a collision on entry. So that will be discussed by the stewards. There's a Haas now of William as well involved. William tries it down the ends of the Alpine, leaving all the space enough, but then squeezing for the inside for turn 6. That was 7. Oh dear, this is a really difficult part to go side by side in, and yes, the Alpine got it back past. William couldn't manage to keep it stick, so they backed out of that one. Up in front, out of a surprise sort of event, MPA 3 game is back into the S zone, only half a second down, and now here it comes. Does he have the battery? Let's have a look. There is 40% left in the Kick Sauber, but there's 60% left on the Williams. So I gotta say the Williams is keeping the battery charged better than the Kick Sauber. The Kick Sauber is trying its best to stay in touch with the Williams, but William in the Haas got the Alpine. That was a bit of squeezing there on the end of the straight, but it is very important the defense to work, and it did work this time for the Haas. So now the objective is just to look, maybe game to the Red Bull up in front, but let's see how that will work out. Let's have our eyes back on the front for the lead. 2 attempts towards turn 5. Will we see an opportunity towards turn 5? The Kick Sauber stays behind for now, but they know the long straight comes for the DS will help them immensely. So towards turn 7 and 8. The Kick Sauber just needs to look to keep the traction good and running. No issues there, but that's a good exit for the Williams. Towards turn 12 we go, so turn 10 and 11. Turn 12 now, the left hand, a bit of a turn and understeer for the Williams there. That was a good quarter by the Kick Sauber, good exit as well. Both empty the battery. Who will have to run? The Kick Sauber will have the DS. Oh, I believe the Williams didn't use all of the battery, and the Kick Sauber goes past. Williams now sticks himself back into the slipstream, but towards turn 14, stays behind. And that was a great opportunity, overtake by MPA3 Gamers, and back into the lead they go. Starting position, pole position, done by the kicks out by Ferrocat and P2. These two are duking it out. Jamboy with a great undercut has put himself up into P3. Cook, gotta say, even with the strategy, put himself into P4. Incredibly done there as well. But this leading battle here is very interesting. Look at the times. There is Detuduyo going back to the pit lane. Back to the pits, I believe, for a different alternative strategy. Let's see how that will work out. So now towards turn 7 and 8, the chicane here, the S is very difficult to get correct with the inside curb. Easy to lose the rear end. Both managed to get by quite good. So now, will Ferrocat have the chance to get past the Kick Sauber, or will it be a bit more of a slipstream battle here between the two? And towards now to the S straight we go. Ferrocat stays behind for now, but will they have this the battery charge at the DS opportunity, or will they stay behind for? But that looks like they've activated the battery DS as well, and they've done it. They've gone past way easy there, and now towards turn 14 they switch position now again. I believe this is going to be the play of the game, just switching every lap and seeing until the end who's going to be the leading car out of the two. But together with this, they're also increasing the gap to the cars behind. Jambo is losing touch a second a lap to the leading cars here. And there's also a battle for P12 between Love Bandit and MB. Juan gets another 3-second time penalty. And there's a spin. There's a spin by the Red Bulls. The joke has spun out of turn 15 into turn 16. And I believe they will come out just ahead of the Ferrari, but the Ferrari gets a position there done as well. Detuduyo goes past, and Joker, massive mistake which brought them down a lot of positions outside of the points now. Will they be able to stay close to the Ferrari? I believe they do have the chance with the DS, but let's stay ahead on a leading battle here between the Williams and the Kick Sauber. Towards turn 12 we go. Turn 13. This long, flat left-hander. The Kick Sauber will have the chance now with the DS. Going to the inside. The Williams does have much to fight for. No they do need to chase. Have a look with the battery as well. They can't empty their batteries before the end. It is all a power play here, a mind game more. Who will keep the battery up the longest? That will decide the race win. MPA3 Gamers is now in the lead, but right, the Williams have a look now. Not quite, but of course now it's just staying behind and charging the batteries. We see the Williams flashing that light in the back. That means that they are on a charging mode. Jambo goes in for a second stop. So does Harvey in the McLaren. So now towards turn 5. Juan joins them as well, but also might surface penalties. We see Juan and Harvey drop down. Jambo comes out in P6. So we will see now. Here it's going to be very interesting to see how this will play out between the two. Will we maybe see a surprise second stop by one of the two drivers here as well? We saw that last time on in Saudi Arabia. It didn't work out for Ferrocat, but it nearly worked out. Maybe it could work out this time. So now on the long straight we go. The Williams has lost a bit of touch. This time we might not see an overtake for the first time. They will close in quite a lot, but they will stay behind towards turn 14. Both are charging. I think both know what the strategy here is. Keep as much battery as they can before the end of the race. We are already lap 18 out of 25. And it is a surprise second stop. Yes, the Williams goes in for a surprise second stop. NPA3 Gamer now has the decision. Do they stay out, or do they risk getting overtaken with the undercut of Ferrocat? To the pit lane they go. Good stop. Cook is now up into P2, and this is what I've been talking about. Cook's trying to just stay out of trouble and take every advantage they can get, and I believe this is now the race for them. 6 laps to go. The gap is just big enough if they can manage to keep the pace up to just stay there, and this could be a surprise P2 as well for Cook again after having a not so optimal qualifying session. But in the back we have a battle between the Haas and the V-Cup of Jamboy closing in. The V-Cup is just getting ever so close. Of course, fresher tires as well on that V-Cup, so he needs to use that opportunity as soon as he can before he burns up his tires behind the cars who haven't done the second stop yet, or won't do the second stop. So towards turn 12, nicely done. That is going to be easy by the V-Cup. The Haas goes the feathers down the inside, but that won't do much. So now onto the straight with the DS detection zone now. Well, it will be easy by the V-Cup, going now out from, pulling out to the outside and then going breezing past. Not getting held up too long behind the Haas. Jamboy knows his battle is up in front. And I believe NPA3 Gamers has made the decision up to stay out. It is 6 laps till the end with this one included. It is the ending stage of the race, and it is so close between all the drivers. Or even if the gaps do stay long, do seem quite far apart. With the different pit strategies, it is all interesting how it's gonna play out. So now through turn 9, we see the Kick Sauber absolutely staying in control with these older hard tires. So is Cook. But they need to be careful to not overuse the tires. Leo as well, also one of the drivers who hasn't gone for the second stop. That was Jambo with a penalty. I just saw that. Jambo has gotten a penalty, and it is a 3-second time penalty. And that is sadly something that Jambo is already familiar with after pushing a lot. It does happen often that a penalty gets to a name, but they are fast enough to maybe diminish that penalty. But Ferrocat is right in the back of Leo. With the DS, pulls down to the inside and goes past before the corner starts. Leo doesn't give up too much of a fight, but he knows it's not his battle to fight. Ferrocat is on fresher mediums, softer and fresher tires. Leo has no chance staying behind with those hard compounds. The only thing he can do is staying in that DS and just getting dragged with Ferrocat. Fastest lap of the race, 1:32.983. 2 seconds faster than the current lap record held last year by Lando Norris. So this is just, these drivers are in the game going absolutely flying. Next car ahead is Cook, 2.5 seconds. That seems like a gap that can be done before the end of the race. We have 5 laps till the end. And it's ever so slightly coming closer to the end. But we see Ferrocat being 2.3 seconds behind Cook. But he is 11.6 seconds behind NPA3 Gamers. He needs to gain more than 2 seconds a lap to the Kick Sauber to have a chance. The Kick Sauber just needs to bring it tidy together, and home. Oh, the Williams is going aggressive on the turn in there. I saw absolutely aggressive on the turn, but then sliding out. That was a thing back in F1 24. It still is slightly a thing on 25, but there is a penalty if you do that with tire wear. You need to be careful not to do that too much. We know Ferrocat is on the fresher tires, but they don't want to overcook their tires before the end of the race. Towards turn 14 now. We see the Williams. The Williams has gained basically 2 seconds now to Cook. And that is incredible. That is basically the same 2 seconds gain to the kick Sauber. But it is going to be right on the edge for the end of the race. 4 laps to go. The laps are counting down, ticking down, and the chances are ever so diminishing for the Williams. Kirk, on the other hand, could be securing a podium here. Even if he gets overtaken, he knows he just needs to stay ahead of his championship rival, Jamboy. And that is an interesting here. The V-carbs with the different stages as well. Well, who will come out in front out of this championship battle as well? Cook with his very laid back driving, basically not being aggressive for, but also not fully being defensive as well. He's leaving all the opportunities of the drivers for him. Like, does let them pass, but he is a championship leader, so it is a strategy that very much works in his favor. Or will Jamboy's aggressive driving gain him the championship at the end of the race? These are three races to go, including this one. We see in the back Jamboy going past Leo, but he has a 3-second time penalty, so he is still currently in P5, and Leo provisional P4. Jamboy needs to see if he can get a 3-second gap on the Red Bull behind. Well, we also are starting to have a battle brewing with the McLaren, with the Alpine. Of course, with the penalty, the McLaren is in provisional P10, but of course on track, you do want to also have the upper hand on track. The gap to Ferrocat and MPA3 Gamers went down 1 second, 8.4 now, but it is 3 laps to go, and it does look like Ferrocat has not got the chance. The only thing he has to pray for is for a mistake from the kick Sauber, but I am not optimistic that might happen. Here though, between Cook and Jamboy, this could become a battle at the end of the race if Jamboy wouldn't have had that penalty. Jamboy not only needs to gain the 3 seconds to his teammate, he needs to gain an additional 3 seconds to actually then secure that position, which might be a difficult task. I'm not saying impossible, but he needs to use everything that's left in that car. Leo behind is not making it easier as well, so currently Jamboy is still in P5. We see MPA3 Gamer crossing the line for the penultimate lap. The kick Sauber strategy might be working out in his favor this time. MPA3 Gamer, I believe this was well what happened last time out in Saudi Arabia. Farm's got another 3-second time penalty. His teammate. Who will come out in front here? This is going to be an important question. So let's see how this will play out. It is going to be important. These two, they are absolutely pushing it as far as they can. So we will see how this will come out. So getting closer. 7.2 seconds. It was, pardon me, last race round in Saudi Arabia was Hyper who has won the race, with Ferrocat getting second. MPA3 Gamers wasn't involved in that top battle, but this time, basically what Hyper has done last time round, MPA3 Gamers will do. Ferrocat strategy, the same one he's done last time round, will again not go in his favor. But of course, you never know until you try it. So final lap now started by the kick Sauber, and it is an important lap here. Cook in the back as well. He sees his teammate creeping in ever so slightly, but will not be enough And this looks to be how the race will end. But here, for P7, Joker and Detonuyu close together. Bumper to front wing, rear defeater to front wing. The Ferrari could have a chance. Juan goes past Harvey. Harvey and Juan are going side by side as well. For P10, might we see something happen there? There's a yellow flag. That's a kick. There's a Haas slowing down. And what has happened? They're speeding. Slowing down, speeding up. Interesting. What has happened there? Issues maybe with the controller, or maybe there are many possibilities what's happened here, but we are going back to the front. MPA3 Gamer enters the final sector. The final time is on the straight here, going towards the final chicane. For the final time, MPA3 Gamer can sigh a breath of relief. He has done it tonight. Here in Las Vegas, crossing the final corner, now onto the drag strip. He's done it! He's completed, he's gone from the front, from pole to the win, crosses the line to win in Las Vegas. And Feral Cat's bizarre strategy didn't work this time out. Cook, with his teammate, will secure a 3-4. And that's Jamboy's AI spinning in the back there. Leo across the line for P5. William, great drive, P6, getting and P7 the bad here. Will the Ferrari do something? Will they be side by side to the line? Is the Red Bull to cross the line for P7 and the Ferrari for P8? And Special One joining late in the session in the McLaren, which he isn't supposed to be, will go as a reserve driver for this time in the McLaren in P9. And Harvey and his teammate P10, Juan P11, and Loveman across P12, Thumbs P13. I think MB is just close enough to get that position, and that is how the Las Vegas Grand Prix ends. We're going here for the final time through the chicane, following the kick Sauber. There's a 6-second time penalty, I believe, on the kick Sauber, so about to cross the line. Let's see where he will end up. Crosses the line, but it will MB, yes, up to 14th. 13th, pardon me. And the keeps out 14th. That was, I have to say, for the end there, the battle between Feral Cat's different strategy and MPA3 Gamers strategy, where he stayed on a normal. It worked really well for the kick Sauber and absolutely deserved for the win. Feral Cat tried it, didn't sadly work, and Cook again involved in nothing. The George Russell meme comes to mind. Does nothing. P3. It's worked out in his favor again, standing on the top 3 spots and the third spot there, increasing his championship lead, making it even tougher for Jamboy to close in. So race winner, MPA3 Gamer, and a special Feral Cat. Fast after the race with the fresh tires, so after that goes to Detonuyu, according to the game, most overtakes has done the Ferrari of Detonuyu, and the cleanest driver goes to Special One. Of course, not being involved in much drama at all. He's put himself up there, and that is incredible. So let's run you down the top 10. MPA3 Gamers, incredible win. Feral Cat P2, Cook P3, Jamboy P4, Leo in P5, William in P6, incredibly done there. P7 goes to Joker, and P8 to Nuyu. Special One P9, and Harvey in P10. And that was I have to say a great Las Vegas Grand Prix, and a lot of drama happening, and with alternative strategies. We love to see these alternative strategies come to play and see if they actually do work out. Not just everyone doing the same and not much difference. But this time, sadly, Feral Cat couldn't use his alternative strategy to his advantage. It did go to MPA3 Gamers, but of course, it doesn't just go by the strategy. MPA3 Gamers did an amazing race. I was your commentator, Captain Foxy. and I can't wait to see you all in the next round. So that one is going to be quite a special one. Let's see. Championship lead. Championship. HB Cook increases their lead to Jamboy. Then we're also the team standings. I believe that one. There we go. So it is next round in Imola. Only normal Grand Prix. Then we go to a final round in Singapore for sprint. So next week it is Imola. Racing Bull increase their lead to McLaren. HB Cook increases his championship lead to Jamboy. Pardon me there. Cook increases championship lead to Jamboy. And with that, round 8 comes to an end in Las Vegas. And it's going to be next week, 10th of August in Imola. So wherever you are, have a good morning, good day, good evening, or good night. And I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.